Chosen one. Stop everything you're doing right now. This isn't just another moment in your day. It's a divine interruption, a sacred whisper from heaven that's been waiting for you to pause and listen. Picture a radiant shield, forged in the light of eternity, descending from the heavens, with your name etched in gold. This shield isn't temporary. It's permanent, unbreakable, and crafted by the hands of the Almighty to guard your heart, your purpose, and your destiny. You've been through battles, some seen, some fought, in the quiet corners of your soul. But God is declaring today that you are fully protected. No weapon formed against you will prosper. No fear will hold you back. No doubt will dim your light. This is your moment to rise, to step into the divine protection that's been reserved for you since before time began. The Lord is saying, I am your shield, your very great reward. Genesis 15:1. Can you feel it? That stirring in your spirit, that spark of hope igniting. This video unveils how the fears you've faced, the struggles you've endured, and the tears you've shed are not your defeat. They're the very foundation of your divine breakthrough. So, lean in, chosen one, because what's coming next will change how you see yourself forever. You've been sensing it, haven't you? That weight in the air, that feeling that something bigger is at work. Maybe it's the sleepless nights where worry whispered lies, or the moments when you felt exposed, like the world was watching, waiting for you to stumble. Perhaps you faced betrayal, or maybe it's the silent ache of wondering if your dreams will ever come to life. Those struggles weren't random, they were divine preparation, shaping you into a vessel strong enough to carry the overflowing blessings God is pouring into your life. Imagine a potter at work, molding clay through fire and pressure. That's been you, molded, refined, and strengthened for a purpose so radiant it will light up the world around you. Psalm 34:7 declares, The angel of the Lord encamps around those who fear him, and he delivers them. Right now, angels are surrounding you, guarding every step, deflecting every attack you can't even see. You're not just surviving. You're being positioned for a prosperous life, a life of abundance and divine provision. Let's talk about that fear for a moment. You know the one. The voice that says you're not enough, that your mistakes define you, that your dreams are too big for your reality. That fear isn't your truth, it's a lie, a shadow trying to block the light of your divine purpose. Picture this. A woman named Sarah, a single mother in her late 30s, working 2 jobs to keep food on the table. She dreamed of starting a small bakery, a place where her love for creating could feed her community. But every time she sat down to plan, fear crept in. What if I fail? What if I lose everything? One night, exhausted and on the verge of giving up, she prayed a simple prayer. God, show me you're with me. The next day, a stranger at her diner job slipped her a note with a check for $5,000. 0 cents, no explanation, just the words, keep going. That was her divine confirmation, her shield of faith activated. Today, Sarah's bakery is a cornerstone of her town, not just feeding bodies, but inspiring souls. Her story isn't a fairy tale. It's a testament to what happens when you trust God's protection over your fears. Your story is no different, chosen one. Your fears are the keys to your greatest breakthroughs. This video is about more than inspiration. It's about transformation. It's about stepping into your faith journey with the confidence that God is putting a permanent shield around you. But faith isn't passive, it's active, bold, and practical. So here are 4 specific steps you can take right now to align with this divine protection and unlock your personal transformation. First, write down one fear that's been holding you back. Be specific. Maybe it's fear of failure, rejection, or financial lack. Put it on paper. Then write beside it, God is my shield, and this fear has no power over me. Second, reach out to someone you've been hesitant to connect with. A friend you've drifted from, a mentor you've been too shy to approach, or even a family member you need to forgive. Send that message or make that call today. Third, start one small action toward your dream. If you want to launch a business, write down one idea. If you're seeking peace, spend 5 minutes in prayer or meditation. Fourth, create a gratitude list of 3 things God has already protected you from. Maybe a toxic relationship, a financial crisis, or a moment of despair. These steps aren't just tasks, they're acts of faith, declarations that you're ready for your divine moment. If this message is stirring your soul, consider supporting our mission through Super Thanks to help us spread the truth of divine provision to more chosen ones like you. Your generosity keeps this light shining, reaching hearts across the globe. Now, let's keep going, because there's something deeper God wants you to grasp about this shield. Imagine a battlefield, arrows flying, chaos all around, but you stand untouched, wrapped in a glowing barrier no enemy can penetrate. That's what God's protection looks like in your life. It's not just about blocking harm, it's about empowering you to move forward with boldness. Isaiah 54:17 says, "No weapon formed against you shall prosper." Notice, it doesn't say no weapon will be formed. Attacks may come, but they won't succeed. Your shield isn't just defense. It's your divine authority to walk in victory, to claim the prosperity and purpose God has promised. Let's make this real. Think about a time you felt overwhelmed, like the odds were stacked against you. Maybe it was a job loss, a health scare, or a dream that seemed to crumble. Now, look back. How did you make it through? That wasn't luck. That was God's shield, working behind the scenes, turning what looked like defeat into a setup for your breakthrough. Take Michael, a young man in his 20s who lost his job during a recession. He felt like a failure, questioning if God had forgotten him. But in that low moment, he started volunteering at a local shelter, not expecting anything in return. One day, a visitor at the shelter, impressed by Michael's heart, offered him a connection to a startup. Today, Michael is a partner in that company, living a prosperous life he never imagined. His story shows that God's shield doesn't just protect, it positions you for abundance. Your low moments are not your end, they are your launch pad. Right now, chosen one, God is inviting you to see yourself as He sees you, not as a victim of your circumstances, but as a warrior of your destiny. You're not defined by what's happened to you, but by what's promised to you. Deuteronomy 28:12 says, "The Lord will open the heavens, the storehouse of His bounty, to bless all the work of your hands." That's not a distant hope. It's your reality. Your shield is active, covering your finances, your relationships, your health, and your dreams. But here's the key. You have to walk in it. Those 4 steps. Writing down your fear, reaching out, taking action, and listing your gratitude are your way of saying, "I trust you, God." They're your bold yes to the spiritual awakening unfolding in your life. If you're feeling that fire in your spirit, pause and type, "I am fully protected by God's shield" in the comments below. Let heaven see your declaration, and let this community of chosen ones stand with you. Your comment isn't just words, it's a prophetic act, aligning you with the divine purpose God is unfolding. Now, let's dive deeper, because there's something about this shield that most people miss. It's not just about what it blocks, it's about what it attracts. Picture a magnet, pulling in opportunities, connections, and blessings that align with your calling. When you walk under God's protection, you become a beacon for divine provision. Doors open that you didn't knock on. Ideas flow that you didn't force. people show up who see your light and honor it. This is the overflow of a life aligned with God's plan. Consider the story of Esther, a young woman thrust into a palace she didn't choose, facing a plot to destroy her people. Fear could have paralyzed her, but she leaned into God's shield. Her faith, her courage, her trust in divine timing. The result? Not only was she protected, but she became the key to her nation's salvation, stepping into a legacy of impact. Your life is no less significant. The fears you're facing, the challenges you're navigating, they're not here to break you. They're here to reveal the strength God has built in you. Every time you choose faith over fear, you're activating that shield, drawing in the resources, wisdom, and favor needed for your prosperous life. Let's talk about prosperity for a moment, because it's more than money. Though, yes, financial freedom is part of God's promise. Prosperity is peace that doesn't waver, joy that doesn't depend on circumstances, and purpose that fuels your every step. When you embrace God's shield, you stop chasing these things and start receiving them. Imagine waking up each morning, not with anxiety, but with clarity. Picture your bank account not as a source of stress, but as a tool for your mission. Envision relationships that don't drain you, but uplift you. This is the life God is calling you to. A life where fear is replaced by faith, lack is replaced by abundance, and doubt is replaced by destiny. You might be wondering, how do I stay in this flow? What if I stumble? Here's the beauty of God's shield. It's not dependent on your perfection. It's anchored in His grace. When you falter, your shield doesn't waver. When you doubt, your protection doesn't fade. Psalm 91:4 says, "He will cover you with His feathers, and under His wings you will find refuge." That's not a conditional promise. It's a divine guarantee. Your job isn't to be flawless. It's to be faithful. Keep taking those 4 steps. Keep showing up with a heart open to God's plan. Keep trusting that every fear you face is a doorway to your next breakthrough. As we move forward, let's pause to reflect on what this shield means for your future. Imagine a scroll unfurling in heaven, your destiny written in letters of light. Every dream you've carried, every prayer you've whispered, every hope you've held onto, it's all recorded, and God is bringing it to life. But here's the question: are you ready to step into it? Are you ready to let go of the old stories, the ones that say you're not worthy, not ready, not enough? Because the moment you say yes, that shield becomes not just your protection, but your empowerment. It's the key to unlocking the wealth creation, the personal transformation, and the divine purpose God has prepared for you. Chosen one, you're standing at the edge of something holy, a moment where heaven is not just watching but actively moving on your behalf. That radiant shield, glowing with your name etched in gold, isn't just a symbol, it's a living promise, pulsating with the power of God's protection and provision. You felt the weight of fear, the sting of uncertainty, and the ache of wondering if your dreams were too big for your reality. But right now, God is whispering, "I am your refuge and strength, an ever-present help in trouble." Psalm 46:1. This isn't about what you've lost. It's about what you're about to gain. Your faith journey is shifting from survival to overflow, from doubt to destiny. Let's dive deeper into what it means to walk under this permanent shield, because the truth unfolding will light a fire in your soul that no fear can extinguish. Think about the moments when life felt like a storm. Bills piling up, relationships fraying, or dreams slipping through your fingers like sand. Those weren't just challenges. They were divine invitations to trust God's plan. Picture a man named David, not the biblical king, but a modern-day father in his 40s. drowning in debt after a failed business venture. He felt like he'd let his family down, his confidence shattered. One evening, staring at a stack of overdue notices, he whispered a desperate prayer, "God, if you're real, show me a way." The next morning, an old college friend called out of the blue, offering a contract job that covered his debts and gave him a fresh start. That wasn't coincidence. It was God's shield, redirecting David's path toward abundance. Your story is no less sacred. The struggles you're facing are not your end. They're the soil where your breakthrough is taking root. This shield isn't just about shielding you from harm. It's about pulling you into alignment with your divine purpose. Imagine a lighthouse standing firm against crashing waves, its beam cutting through the fog to guide ships home. That's you, chosen one. Your light, your faith, your resilience. They're guiding you toward a prosperous life, and they're drawing others to the truth of God's love. But to fully step into this, you need to keep activating those 4 steps we talked about. Writing down your fear and declaring God's power over it, reaching out to someone with courage, taking one small action toward your dream, and listing 3 things God has protected you from. These aren't just tasks, they're keys, unlocking the doors to your spiritual awakening. Every time you act in faith, you're telling the universe, "I'm ready for my divine moment." Let's talk about what's on the other side of those doors. Picture a future where financial freedom isn't a distant dream, but a daily reality. Where your bank account reflects God's provision, not your stress. Envision relationships that feel like home, where you're seen, valued, and uplifted. See yourself waking up with clarity, your heart full of peace, your mind buzzing with ideas that turn dreams into reality. This is the overflow God is calling you to. A life where prosperity isn't just about wealth creation, but about living fully in your calling. Deuteronomy 28:6 promises, "You will be blessed when you come in, and blessed when you go out." That's not a maybe. It's a divine guarantee for those who walk under God's shield. But here's where it gets real. Stepping into this life means letting go of what's holding you back. Maybe it's a mindset of scarcity, telling you there's never enough. Maybe it's a relationship that drains your light instead of reflecting it. Or maybe it's the fear of being seen, of stepping into the spotlight of your purpose. Imagine a woman named Rachel, a teacher who always felt called to write a book about her journey through grief. For years she hesitated, afraid of criticism, afraid her story wasn't big enough. One day, she took a small step, writing a single page. That page became a chapter, then a manuscript. Today, her book has touched thousands, not because she was fearless, but because she trusted God's shield to cover her vulnerability. Your small steps are no less powerful. They're the bridge between where you are and where God is leading you. If this message is igniting your spirit, pause and type, "I am walking in God's overflow" in the comments below. Let this community of chosen ones see your bold declaration and let heaven record your faith. Your comment is a prophetic act, a signal that you're ready to embrace the abundance and divine provision God has prepared. Now let's go deeper, because there's a truth about this shield that will shift how you see every challenge. This shield doesn't just protect you from external attacks, it guards your heart from internal ones. Doubt, shame, and fear, they're the arrows that sting the deepest. But God's shield is stronger, whispering, "You are enough. You are chosen. You are mine." Consider the story of Joseph, betrayed by his brothers, sold into slavery, and imprisoned for a crime he didn't commit. Every step felt like a dead end, yet God's shield was active, turning his pain into preparation. In time, Joseph rose to lead Egypt, saving nations from famine. His story wasn't about avoiding hardship, but about trusting God's protection through it. Your hardships are no different. They're shaping you for a purpose bigger than you can see. Maybe you're facing a financial setback, a health challenge, or a dream that feels out of reach. Those aren't signs of God's absence. They're proof of His presence, refining you for your divine moment. Genesis 50:20 says, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good." Your challenges are being woven into a story of victory. This is where your faith journey becomes a testimony. Every time you choose to trust, to take those 4 steps, to lean into God's shield, you're building a legacy. Not just for yourself, but for those watching you. Your children, your friends, your community. They're seeing what it looks like to live under divine protection. Imagine a young girl watching her mother, a single parent, pray through tears yet rise with hope. That girl grows up knowing faith isn't just words, it's power. Your life is that example, chosen one. Your resilience is a beacon, showing others that a prosperous life is possible, even in the storm. Let's talk about prosperity again, because it's not about chasing wealth, it's about receiving what's already yours. Picture a river flowing effortlessly, nourishing everything in its path. That's God's provision in your life, steady, abundant, unstoppable. When you align with His shield, you stop striving and start stewarding. You don't beg for opportunities, you prepare for them. You don't chase love, you attract it. You don't force your dreams, you birth them in divine timing. Philippians 4:19 declares, "My God will meet all your needs according to the riches of His glory in Christ Jesus." That's not a promise for someday, it's active now, covering your bills, your health, your purpose. But alignment requires intention. Those 4 steps, writing your fear, reaching out, acting on your dream, and listing your gratitude, are your daily practice of alignment. They're not one-time acts, they're a lifestyle. Every morning, ask yourself, how can I trust God's shield today? Maybe it's speaking life over a situation that feels dead. Maybe it's giving generously even when you're tempted to hold back. Or maybe it's resting, trusting that God is working while you pause. These choices anchor you in the divine flow, where miracles aren't rare. They're your normal. As you embrace this flow, you'll notice something extraordinary. The people around you will change. Some will draw closer, inspired by your light. Others will fade, unable to handle your radiance. That's not rejection, it's refinement. God's shield isn't just protecting you from harm, it's filtering what doesn't belong in your destiny. Imagine a garden where weeds are gently removed to let flowers bloom. That's your life right now. God is clearing space for relationships, opportunities, and blessings that align with your calling. Don't cling to what's leaving, celebrate what's arriving. Let's pause to dream for a moment. Close your eyes and picture your life a year from now, fully under God's shield. See your finances flourishing, not because you chased money, but because you trusted God's provision. Feel the peace in your heart, unshaken by headlines or opinions. Hear the laughter in your home, the joy in your voice, the confidence in your steps. This isn't fantasy, it's your divine destiny, unfolding as you walk in faith. Jeremiah 29:11 says, "For I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." That future is closer than you think. But what if the fear you're facing feels too big? What if the next step feels like a leap? That's where God's shield shines brightest. It's not about having all the answers. It's about trusting the one who does. Every fear is a doorway, every doubt a stepping stone. Those 4 steps are your map guiding you through the fog. Write that fear down and declare God's power. Reach out to that person, even if your heart races. Take that small action, even if it feels insignificant. List those gratitudes, even if you have to search for them. These acts of faith are your partnership with heaven, turning your fears into testimonies. As we move forward, know this: your shield is eternal, but your response is urgent. God is moving now, aligning resources, opening doors, softening hearts. The question is, will you move with Him? Will you trust the shield that's already in place? Because the moment you say yes, you're not just protected, you're propelled into a life of purpose, prosperity, and peace. What's waiting on the other side of your yes? Let's find out together. Chosen one, you're not just listening to a message. You're standing in a sacred space, a divine moment where heaven is aligning every detail of your life under a permanent shield of protection. That glowing barrier, etched with your name in golden light, isn't just guarding you from harm. It's guiding you toward a destiny so radiant it will echo through generations. You've carried fears, faced setbacks, and wondered if your prayers were heard. But God is declaring, I am your stronghold, your deliverer, the one who lifts your head high. Psalm 3:3. This is your spiritual awakening, the unveiling of a prosperous life where abundance, peace, and purpose flow like a river. Let's step deeper into this truth, because what God is revealing next will empower you to walk boldly into your divine purpose. Imagine a seed buried in dark soil, pressed down by weight, surrounded by silence. It doesn't look like much, but beneath the surface it's breaking open, reaching for light. That's been you, chosen one, pressed, hidden, but never abandoned. Every tear you've shed, every door that closed, every moment you felt overlooked was part of God's plan to root you in strength. Now, the season of burial is over. You're sprouting, stretching toward the sunlight of your breakthrough. Isaiah 61:7 promises, instead of your shame you will receive a double portion, and instead of disgrace you will rejoice in your inheritance. Your struggles weren't wasted, they were investments. And the return is coming in waves of divine provision. Let's make this personal. Think about a time when you felt stuck, like life was moving for everyone but you. Maybe it was a job that drained your spirit, a relationship that broke your heart, or a dream you shelved because the timing seemed wrong. Now, look closer. How did you survive? How did you find the strength to keep going? That was God's shield, holding you steady when you couldn't see the way. Take Lisa, a nurse in her 50s, who always wanted to start a community garden to teach kids about growth and resilience. After years of long shifts and self-doubt, she felt her dream was too late. One day she took a small step, planting a single raised bed in her backyard. A neighbor saw it, shared the idea with a local school, and within months, Lisa's garden became a funded program, touching hundreds of lives. Her small act of faith activated God's shield, turning a seed of a dream into a harvest of impact. Your small steps, writing down that fear, reaching out, acting on your dream, listing your gratitudes, are just as powerful. Those 4 steps aren't random. They're your daily alignment with God's shield. They're how you partner with heaven to unlock your personal transformation. When you write, God is my shield, next to your fear, you're dismantling its power. When you reach out to someone, you're opening doors for divine connections. When you take action, you're planting seeds for abundance. When you list your gratitudes, you're anchoring your heart in faith. These acts are your declaration that you're ready for the overflow, ready to live a life where financial freedom, emotional peace, and spiritual clarity aren't dreams, they're your reality. Psalm 32:7 says, "You are my hiding place. You will protect me from trouble and surround me with songs of deliverance." That's not a future hope, it's your now. If this truth is setting your spirit ablaze, pause and type, "I am rising in God's protection," in the comments below. Let this community of chosen ones witness your faith, and let heaven seal your commitment. Your comment is a prophetic act, a bold step into the divine flow of your destiny. Now, let's explore what this shield means for your future. Because it's not just about where you've been, it's about where you're going. Picture a path stretching before you, lined with opportunities, relationships, and blessings, each one glowing with the promise of God's plan. This path isn't free of challenges, but it's covered by a shield that turns obstacles into stepping stones. Every fear you face, every doubt you conquer, is a gateway to your next level of prosperity. Let's talk about prosperity again, because it's a word that carries weight. It's not about chasing wealth for wealth's sake. It's about living in the fullness of God's provision. Imagine a life where your bills are paid with ease, not stress. Where your work feels like worship, not a grind. Where your relationships reflect your worth, not your wounds. This is the prosperous life God is calling you to, and His shield is the key. Deuteronomy 8:18 reminds us it is He who gives you the ability to produce wealth. That ability is active in you now, waiting for you to trust it, to act on it, to receive it. Your shield isn't just blocking attacks, it's attracting the resources, wisdom, and favor you need to thrive. But thriving requires courage. It means saying no to what doesn't serve your purpose. Maybe a job that stifles your creativity, a friendship that dims your light, or a habit that keeps you small. It means saying yes to what scares you, starting that project, sharing your story, or trusting God with your finances. Think of Daniel, a young graphic designer who felt called to create art that inspired faith. Fear of failure kept him stuck in a corporate job he hated. One day, he took a step, posting a single design online. A pastor saw it, commissioned a series for his church, and soon Daniel's work was in demand across the country. His courage activated God's shield, turning a single act into a legacy of impact. Your courage, your 4 steps, are doing the same. This is where your faith journey becomes a movement. Every time you choose faith over fear, you're not just changing your life, you're inspiring others. Your co-workers notice your peace in the chaos. Your family sees your resilience in the storm. Your community feels your light, even when you don't speak a word. You're a living testimony of what it looks like to walk under God's shield, to live a life of divine purpose. 2 Corinthians 3:2 says, "You yourselves are our letter, written on our hearts, known and read by everyone." Your life is a letter, chosen one, and the world is reading it. Let's pause to dream bigger. Close your eyes and see yourself a year from now, fully aligned with God's shield. Picture your home filled with laughter, your work overflowing with purpose, your heart free from the weight of worry. See opportunities chasing you, contracts landing, doors opening, ideas blooming. Feel the confidence in your steps, the joy in your spirit, the peace that passes understanding. This is your divine destiny, and it's not a fantasy, it's a promise. Jeremiah 17:7 says, "Blessed is the one who trusts in the Lord, whose confidence is in Him." That blessing is yours, unfolding with every step you take. But what about the moments when fear creeps back? When the path feels foggy or the dream feels far? That's when God's shield shines brightest. It's not about never feeling fear. It's about never letting fear have the final word. Your 4 steps are your anchor, keeping you grounded in faith. Write that fear down and speak God's truth over it. Reach out, even when your voice shakes. Act, even when the outcome isn't clear. Give thanks, even when the road feels long. These choices are your partnership with heaven, turning your fears into fuel for your breakthrough. As we press forward, know this: your shield is not just for today, it's eternal. It's a covenant, a divine contract signed by the Creator himself. Every promise in his word, protection, provision, peace, is yours to claim. But claiming it means living it. It means waking up each day and asking, how can I honor God's shield today? Maybe it's forgiving someone who hurt you. Maybe it's giving generously, trusting God to replenish. Or maybe it's resting, knowing your future is secure. These choices align you with the divine flow, where miracles, favor, and abundance become your normal. Let's talk about that normal for a moment. Imagine a life where unexpected blessings are routine. Checks arriving when you need them most, connections forming at just the right time, ideas sparking that change everything. This isn't wishful thinking, it's the reality of living under God's shield. Picture a woman named Maria, who, after years of struggling as a freelancer, prayed for a breakthrough. One day she took a step, emailing a client she admired. That email led to a contract that doubled her income. Not because she forced it, but because she trusted God's timing. Your steps, your faith, are unlocking the same kind of miracles. This is your moment, chosen one, to step fully into the life God designed for you. A life of wealth creation, personal transformation, and unshakable peace. The fears you face are not your end, they're your beginning. The doorway to a destiny so bright it will outshine every shadow. What's waiting on the other side of your courage? Let's keep walking to find out. Chosen one, you're standing in a moment that's been ordained since the foundations of the earth. That radiant shield, shimmering with your name in golden light, isn't just a barrier, it's a beacon, calling you into a life of divine purpose, unshakable peace, and overflowing abundance. You've walked through valleys of fear, carried burdens of doubt, and faced moments when hope felt like a flicker in the dark. But God is proclaiming, I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of Egypt, out of the land of slavery. Exodus 22. This is your exodus, your deliverance from the chains of scarcity and fear into a prosperous life where every step is guarded by heaven's hand. Let's dive deeper, because the truth unfolding now will anchor your soul and propel you into the divine destiny waiting just beyond the horizon. Picture a warrior, clad in armor that glows with an otherworldly light, standing firm against a storm of arrows. The wind howls, the enemy advances, but the warrior doesn't flinch, because their shield is unbreakable. That's you, chosen one, wrapped in God's permanent shield, not just surviving the storms of life, but thriving through them. Every challenge you've faced, financial strain, broken relationships, dreams deferred, wasn't a punishment, it was a proving ground, forging you into a vessel strong enough to carry the wealth creation, joy, and impact God has planned. Psalm 18:2 declares, "The Lord is my rock, my fortress, and my deliverer." Right now, that fortress is surrounding you, turning every attack into an opportunity for your breakthrough. Let's ground this in a story that feels like yours. Imagine Marcus, a carpenter in his 30s, who poured his savings into a small furniture business only to watch it falter during an economic downturn. He felt like a failure, haunted by the fear that he'd never provide the life he dreamed for his family. One night, sitting in his workshop, he prayed, "God, If you're with me, give me a sign. The next day, a local cafe owner, impressed by a chair Marcus had donated, asked him to furnish her new location. That single order led to a contract with a chain of restaurants, transforming Marcus's business into a thriving enterprise. His fear didn't vanish overnight, but his faith in God's shield grew stronger with every step. Your fears, your struggles, they're not the end of your story. They're the setup for your divine provision. Those 4 steps we've been walking through, writing down your fear and declaring God's power, reaching out to someone with courage, taking one small action toward your dream, and listing 3 things God has protected you from, are your daily practice of faith. They're not just actions, they're declarations, signaling to heaven that you're ready for the overflow. When you write, "This fear has no power over me," you're dismantling the enemy's lies. When you reach out, you're inviting divine connections into your life. When you act, you're planting seeds for abundance. When you give thanks, you're anchoring your heart in the truth that God has never left you. These steps are your partnership with God's shield, aligning you with a spiritual awakening that changes everything. If this message is igniting a fire in your spirit, pause and type, "I am covered by God's eternal shield," in the comments below. Let this community of chosen ones stand with you, and let heaven witness your bold faith. Your comment is a prophetic act, a stake in the ground, that you're claiming the prosperous life God has promised. Now, let's explore what this shield means for the battles you're facing today, because it's not just about protection, it's about empowerment. Imagine a scroll in heaven, unrolling to reveal your name, your dreams, your purpose, written in ink that never fades. That scroll is active, and God's shield is ensuring every word comes to pass. Isaiah 55:11 says, "My word that goes out from my mouth, it will not return to me empty, but will accomplish what I desire." Your destiny is God's word, and it will not fail. Let's talk about the battles for a moment. Maybe you're fighting financial lack, staring at bills that seem to multiply faster than your income. Or perhaps it's a relational wound, a trust broken that still stings. Maybe it's the quiet battle of self-doubt, wondering if you're truly called, truly chosen. These aren't just struggles. They're invitations to lean into God's shield. Think of Hannah, a woman in her late 20s who dreamed of opening a counseling practice to help others heal from trauma. After years of education, she faced rejection from every loan application, her confidence crumbling. One evening, she took a step, writing down her fear of failure and praying over it. The next week, a former professor connected her with a non-profit that funded her practice. Today, Hannah's work is transforming lives, not because she was fearless, but because she trusted God's shield to make a way. Your battles are no different. They're doorways to your divine moment. This shield doesn't just block attacks, it attracts blessings. Picture a magnet, drawing in opportunities, wisdom, and favor that align with your calling. When you walk under God's protection, you become a beacon for divine provision. Connections you didn't apply for, connections you didn't expect, ideas that spark change. But this flow requires you to stay aligned. Those 4 steps are your compass, keeping you grounded in faith. Every time you choose courage over fear, you're activating that magnet, pulling in the resources needed for your prosperous life. Philippians 1:6 assures us, "He who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion." That work is unfolding now, in your finances, your relationships, your purpose. Let's dream for a moment. Close your eyes and see yourself 6 months from now, living fully under God's shield. Picture your bank account reflecting abundance, not anxiety. Feel the warmth of relationships that honor your light, lifting you higher. Hear the clarity in your mind, the confidence in your voice as you step into rooms and shift atmospheres. This isn't a fantasy, it's your faith journey coming to life. Psalm 23:5 says, "You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies." That table is set for you now, laden with blessings, opportunities, and peace. Your job is to sit at it, to receive what God has prepared. But receiving means releasing. It means letting go of the old stories, the ones that say you're not worthy, not ready, not enough. It means forgiving those who hurt you, not because they deserve it, but because your destiny demands a clean heart. It means stepping away from environments that dim your light, trusting God to bring what's meant for you. Imagine a tree shedding dead leaves in autumn, making room for new growth in spring. That's your life right now. God is pruning what no longer serves you, preparing you for a season of overflow. Don't cling to the leaves, embrace the new branches. This is where your personal transformation becomes a testimony. Every time you take those 4 steps, you're not just changing your life, you're showing the world what it looks like to live under divine protection. Your co-workers notice your calm in the chaos. Your friends see your courage in the unknown. Your community feels your hope even when you don't speak it. You're a living example of wealth creation, not just in money, but in faith, love, and purpose. 2 Corinthians 4:7 says, "We have this treasure in jars of clay, to show that this all-surpassing power is from God." You're that jar, chosen one, and your light is shining brighter than ever. Let's talk about that light for a moment. It's not just for you, it's for the world. Your purpose, your dreams, your resilience. They're meant to inspire, to heal, to lead. Think of Esther, who stepped into a palace not for her own glory, but to save her people. Your calling is no less significant. Maybe you're called to start a story that heals hearts, or maybe your purpose is simpler, to show your children what faith looks like in action. Whatever it is, God's shield is covering it, ensuring it comes to fruition. Your only job is to keep walking, keep trusting, keep acting in faith. As we move forward, know this. Your shield is not just for the big moments, it's for the small ones too. It's there when you pay a bill, when you have a tough conversation, when you take a deep breath and try again. It's there in the quiet mornings when you pray, in the late nights when you dream, in the everyday choices that shape your destiny. Those 4 steps, writing, reaching out, acting, giving thanks, are your daily worship, your way of saying, "I trust you, God." And with every step, you're drawing closer to the life He's promised, a life of abundance, peace, and purpose. What's waiting on the other side of your next act of faith? What miracles, what connections, what breakthroughs are just 1 step away? Let's keep moving, chosen one, because the path ahead is glowing with possibility. Chosen one, you're standing on holy ground, wrapped in a divine shield that pulses with God's eternal promise. This radiant barrier, glowing with your name in golden light, isn't just protecting you, it's launching you into a destiny where abundance, peace, and purpose overflow. You've faced fears, carried burdens, and wondered if your prayers reached heaven. But God declares, "I have heard you and I am with you always." Matthew 28:20. This is your spiritual awakening, your divine moment to step fully into a prosperous life. Let's seal this truth with a final embrace of faith, because what's unfolding now is the culmination of every tear, every step, every whispered hope. Picture a horizon at dawn, the first rays of light breaking through, painting the sky with promise. That's your life right now. A new day dawning, where every fear you faced becomes a stepping stone to your breakthrough. those 4 steps. Writing your fear and declaring God's power, reaching out with courage, acting on your dream, listing your gratitudes, have aligned you with heaven's rhythm. They've opened doors you couldn't see, drawn resources you didn't expect, and anchored your heart in unshakable peace. Psalm 91:11 says, "For he will command his angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways." That's your reality, chosen one. Angels encircling you, God's shield covering you, your destiny unfolding. Now, let's dream one last time. See yourself a year from now living fully in God's provision. Your finances flow with ease, your heart rests in joy, your purpose shines like a beacon. This isn't a wish, it's a promise. Your faith journey has brought you here, and your obedience is unlocking miracles. If this message has ignited your soul, type "I am shielded, I am ready, I am chosen" in the comments. Let heaven and this community see your faith. Like and subscribe to join thousands of chosen ones walking in divine favor. And if this has blessed you, consider a super thanks to spread this light further. Super thanks for doing so. Thanks for this life and a loving. Let's close in prayer. Heavenly Father, we stand in awe of your love, your shield that never fails. Thank you for covering us, for turning our fears into testimonies, our struggles into victories. We declare your promises over our lives: abundance, peace, purpose.